Welcome to the Explainer. Look, if you're a product manager right now, let's just be completely honest about what your typical Tuesday morning looks like. You sit down with your coffee, and honestly, before you've even opened up your primary roadmap, the chaos just begins. You're sifting through endless Slack alerts about what your biggest competitor just launched. You've got 15 browser tabs open, scanning G2 reviews. You're monitoring change logs, tracking social sentiment on LinkedIn, and constantly auditing competitors' pricing pages just to see if they silently moved a feature to a higher tier. The sheer volume of this data has completely transitioned from being helpful intelligence to this massive, paralyzing bottleneck. So today, we're going to dive deep into how you can finally stop drowning in all this information. We'll explore exactly how to transform those fragmented, chaotic market signals into a clear, prioritized product roadmap by letting AI actually do the heavy lifting for you. Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We'll cover 1. The PM's dilemma. 2. Shifting to contextual intelligence. 3 AI-powered workflows. 4. Predictive intelligence. And finally, 5. The strategic playbook. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the PM's dilemma. There is a massive, frankly alarming disconnect in the industry right now. Looking at Crayon's 2024 State of Competitive Intelligence data, 61% of companies report that the sheer volume of competitive data they have to monitor is rapidly increasing year over year. But when you look at the other side of that equation, fewer than 20% of teams feel they actually have an effective process for managing that influx. I mean, that's wild, right? Most product teams are essentially trying to bail water out of a sinking boat with a teaspoon. The market is moving faster, competitors are shipping way quicker, and without a robust system to process all this incoming data, product managers are just left feeling perpetually behind, desperately trying to catch up to yesterday's news. And, that lack of a systematic approach leads directly to the manual grind. For most teams, competitive research has basically devolved into acting as a glorified librarian. You spend hours collecting links, saving screenshots into a messy shared drive, and just kind of hoping you'll have time on Friday afternoon to sit down and connect the dots. But let's be real, Friday afternoon never comes. When you spend literally all your cognitive bandwidth manually reacting and hoarding information, you create a massive strategic blind spot. You are merely reacting to the market instead of shaping it. Imagine spending 3 hours formatting a competitive matrix spreadsheet, and because you were so deep in the weeds of copy-pasting feature lists, you entirely missed a major competitor shifting their core messaging toward a completely different target audience. You just have zero energy left to actually interpret what the data means for your own strategy. Moving right along to section 2. Shifting to contextual intelligence. So the industry consensus, and this is highly supported by strategic and competitive intelligence professionals, or SIP, is that a major pivot is required if you want to survive this data avalanche. We have to completely move away from the old way of working. The old way is just noise collection. It's getting 50 Google alerts a day that mean absolutely nothing to your current sprint, leading to severe notification fatigue where you eventually just start ignoring everything. The new way? That is AI-led focus. In this model, AI acts as an executive filter, vigorously protecting your focus and attention. It sifts through all the noise so that you are empowered to step back and act as a strategic analyst, rather than a data entry clerk. So how exactly does an AI do this? Well, instead of just dumping raw data onto your desk, modern AI acts as a specialized, tireless analyst. It uses techniques like sentiment analysis and trend extraction to instantly connect the dots for you. It doesn't just read the words, it actually understands the context. For instance, it can see that a competitor dropped their pricing on Tuesday and then launched a new enterprise feature on Thursday and instantly recognize that as a unified push-up market. The whole goal is to synthesize those disparate, chaotic data points into a clear, concise, summarized brief that you can actually use to make a decision right now. Imagine logging in on a Monday morning and seeing a brief like this waiting for you. Instead of a generic, unhelpful alert saying, Competitor X launched an integration, the AI brief says, Competitor X launched a new integration with Salesforce. This directly threatens our mid-market retention. We should accelerate our CRM module by 2 weeks. Just notice the massive difference in value there. The AI didn't just report the news, it recommended a strategic countermove. It shows you the why and exactly how this external event changes your internal product trajectory. That is the absolute definition of actionable intelligence. All right, let's get tactical. Section 3. 3 AI-powered workflows every PM needs. First step, we have automated feature gap analysis. Traditionally, keeping track of what your competitors are building takes days of manual cross-referencing. But now you can just feed raw competitor documentation and changelogs directly into an AI agent. The AI instantly maps those external updates against your existing product capabilities. But more importantly, it helps you spot the critical difference between true differentiators and mere parity gaps. For example, if the AI flags that a competitor just added dark mode, well, it notes that as a simple parity gap you might want to eventually check off. But if it flags that they just released a proprietary predictive analytics engine, boom, it highlights that as a true differentiator requiring an immediate strategic response from your team.
Second is customer voice synthesis. We all absolutely know the pain of trying to read through hundreds of G2 or Capterra reviews. It is just exhausting. Us humans suffer from reading fatigue and severe confirmation bias, right? Like, if we think our UI is clunky, we will unconsciously only look for reviews that validate that assumption. AI doesn't have that problem at all. It processes everything objectively to generate a holistic competitive sentiment score. It can pinpoint hidden aggregate grievances that a human scanning text would completely miss. For example, the AI might notice that 15% of otherwise positive 3-star reviews subtly mention a slow mobile load time. It flags this early warning sign for you long before it spirals into a massive churn crisis.
And third, predictive win/loss analysis. Relying on lagging end-of-quarter CRM reports is a recipe for disaster. Let's be honest, usually sales reps just manually select price from a drop-down menu when they lose a deal because they're rushing to get it done. Instead, you can seed raw sales call transcripts from tools like Gong or Chorus directly into an AI model. The AI scans the actual conversations to tell you exactly why you are losing deals right now. It pulls the objective truth out of those calls, spotting patterns like, we consistently lose to competitor Y specifically due to a lack of native compliance reporting. You get real-time roadmap feedback straight from the buyer's mouth. It's a total game changer.
Okay, moving to section 4, predictive AI intelligence. So I really want you to think about this for a second. How do you spot competitor shifts before they even happen? What is the absolute ultimate leading indicator for a major product strategy shift? Because once a feature hits a press release or marketing email, the game's already over. You are already 6 months behind the curve.
The surprising and honestly most accurate answer is hiring patterns. Who a company is trying to hire acts as an incredibly loud early strategy alert long before a single line of code is ever shipped. Hiring patterns reveal exactly where a company is investing its R&D budget today to prepare for a major launch tomorrow. It is literally the clearest possible indicator of where their roadmap is heading.
And the absolute best part is that you can completely operationalize this. By using AI to automate the scraping of targeted job boards, you can spot subtle yet massive structural shifts. If a competitor suddenly pivots toward hiring 5 machine learning engineers and an LLM architect, your AI flags it immediately. Or, if there's a sudden quiet influx of security and compliance roles being posted, you know for sure they are preparing to move upmarket to target enterprise and government contracts. Monitoring these shifts gives you the crucial luxury of time. It allows you to prepare a counter-narrative or adjust your own roadmap quarters in advance.
Finally, let's bring it all together in section 5, implementing the Specky playbook. Using platforms like Specky, you can follow this exact 3-step framework to ruthlessly filter the noise and tie intelligence directly to your OKRs. Step 1, tier your competitors with AI. You absolutely should not treat a massive, slow-moving legacy rival the same way you treat an agile, well-funded startup. AI helps you separate the daily existential threats from the monthly ones. Step 2, automate the routine by setting up a competitive flash. This isn't just a random news dump. It's a quick 3-bullet summary tied directly to the specific goals and metrics your team is measured on. And step 3, prioritize human in the loop. Now, we really need to address the elephant in the room regarding that final step. There's this common fear out there that AI is coming for the PM's job. But the reality is that AI is excellent at rapid synthesis and, frankly, terrible at context-heavy strategic business decisions. AI is the brilliant intern gathering the data and presenting the options. You are the executive making the final call on the roadmap. AI isn't replacing you, it's doing the exhausting heavy lifting, so you can actually step up and be the human-in-the-loop decision-maker you were hired to be.
According to IDC, companies using AI-driven intelligence see a 30 to 40% reduction in time spent on manual research. That is a massive, tangible ROI. I mean, think about what recovering 30% of your work week actually looks like. It means you finally have the time for deep customer interviews, for deep strategic thinking, and for actual product development. You are recovering your most valuable asset, your time, by entirely eliminating the illusion of activity.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I'll leave you with this. Will you remain a passive curator of links, just constantly drowning in browser tabs and Jira tickets? Or will you leverage AI to step up as the strategic visionary your product desperately needs? The intelligence is out there and the tools to harness it are available right now. It's time to let AI do the heavy lifting, stop tracking everything manually, and get back to what you actually do best, building winning products. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.